Welcome back to Herb-O-Matic. My wife was kind enough to put me out here so I could watch the sunrise, you know. And unfortunately, she hasn't been real good about bringing me in so I get to watch the sunset and the sun midday and everything else too. All right. No, I'm getting better from surgery, guys. Here's the 3 additional belly buttons. Unfortunately, belly buttons are supposed to be down the middle. Everybody knows that, like in a row right here. He put them off to the side. Now, he did say if you don't use them enough, they'll start to close. And you can see that they're starting to close. All right, you guys, today is the first day of the belly button series, and I wanted to tell you about how I tricked my wife into moving from a city with all the conveniences out into the middle of the desert. And the story about how we bought this place here.
The land provides.
All right, guys, I never got to properly tell the whole story about how we bought this place. And it's a pretty exciting story, pretty fun. So here's what happened. We were living in Phoenix. The wife had moved in with me. I'd moved her from a nice neighborhood in her townhouse and tricked her to move into a rough neighborhood where my old house was in the middle of Phoenix, okay? And Phoenix is like, during the summer, there's 6 months where it's just 115 degrees all the time, okay? You can't even get up early because it starts off at 93 degrees when the sun comes up. So anyways, so we're living in Phoenix, and we'd been thinking about moving for some time. And we've been looking at Zillow and looking at Tennessee, and we'd been driving all over the state, looking at different places like Bisbee, Arizona, and stuff like that, and Prescott Valley. And anyways, found a lot of cool stuff, you know, didn't have a giant budget, but this place came up for sale. You know, one day I'm in the bathroom in my office, you know, doing paperwork in my office in the bathroom. And I'm looking through Zillow, and this place comes up. And it was $1 million. And I showed it to the wife, and, you know, and she said, obviously we couldn't afford $1 million, but I showed it to the wife, and it was 153 acres. And she goes, it's 153 acres of nothing. The pictures, some of the pictures, you know, were taken when it was summer and less green and everything. But anyways, I showed this to the wife, and she got kind of mad at me for even showing her it. And then, so nothing happened because it was $1 million. And so we went about our lives. You know, I had a vending business. I had 115 vending machines at various apartment complexes all over Phoenix. I mostly only did apartment complexes. And that business, sorry, I got spider webs. I haven't been in here for 3 days, and now there's spider webs everywhere. But anyway, so I had 115 vending machines all over Phoenix at mostly apartment complexes, and I did rough apartment complexes. That was kind of my niche. I'd build cages for them and everything else. But so I continued to run my business. The wife continued to work at electronics recycling place, and she was safety manager, kind of a cop now that I think of it.
It was EHS.
Cop. Freaking sounds like a cop to me. Anyways, but so we continued on for a while, and one day I was in my office in the bathroom doing paperwork. Hang on. Yeah, so we continue on with our lives, and you know, one day I was in the office doing paperwork again, and this place has a price cut down to $600,000, and it's about 6 months after it's been listed. And at night, every night, you know, I'm kind of looking at it. It's an FAA registered airport. You know, it's got everything we want. Or I want, you know, and and so it drops down to 600 grand, and I show it to the wife again, and she gets mad, and she goes, quit showing me that, you know, and so, you know, I still 600,000, I can't really swing that. It's not really financeable because it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of dilapidated, you know, and it's off grid, so can't really get a loan for it. So I really can't do anything about it. So we continue to live our life, and one day, you know, a few months down the road, I'm in my office doing paperwork, and I'm scrolling through Zillow, and I see that this place has a price cut to $399,000, and it's been listed for about a year. And so I forget all about my paperwork, jump up, pull up my pants, run to the wife, and I show it to her. Babe, what did you think when I kept showing you the listing to this place?
I'm still mad about it.
You're still mad about it?
I'm still mad about it.
How could you be mad about it?
Because you trick me constantly.
I didn't trick you. You like it out here.
I love it out here, but you get obsessed. You get obsessed, and the more I say, like, I don't want something, the more you push. In this case, it worked.
It worked out.
In this case, it worked, but I'm still mad at you.
Well, she really loved it every time I showed it to her.
I get more and more upset every time.
Hey. What?
Laying in bed and showing me this pile of dirt out here.
Yeah, and I go, it's
I'm
153 acres. What'd you say?
153 acres of nothing.
But
And I'm sure our viewers probably go, oh, maybe she's right.
no, it's awesome. And the wife is furious at this point because
You've become obsessed with it.
I've become kind of obsessed with it. And like I said, the angles of the pictures were interesting. Probably not the best pictures representing the place. So I show it to the wife, and the wife is furious, right? And at this point, I'm working on the Mooney. I think I'm installing the engine after overhaul on the Mooney. Is that right?
Start the mating process. Dang it.
Yeah.
We're doing an
that's
annual
what's
inspection.
happening.
So I'm working on the Mooney.
We're doing something.
The Mooney's in Goodyear. We live in the middle of Phoenix. So we're driving out to work on the Mooney. The wife has told me not to talk to her about this place anymore. So we get halfway to Goodyear.
We're driving there.
We're
furiously.
driving to Goodyear. And I tell the wife, hey, my back hurts. I don't know if I can really work on the Mooney. But you know what else is this way? We're already part way there. Is that place, that property. And it's Sunday. And the wife, oh man, is she mad. And I tell her, I said, look, let's just take a look at it. We don't have to buy it. We're not going to buy it. Obviously we're not going to buy it. So let's just go take a look at it. And if you let me drive you out there, I'll buy you some Mexican food. I don't think she knew that the drive was going to be about 2.5 hours. So Mexican food, guys, is your first clue. If you're going to trick your wife into something, put Mexican food at the end of that rainbow. So anyways, we drive all the way out here. It's a long ways. Wife is kind of mad, and I can't remember if we got Mexican food first or came here first. I think we came here first.
Yeah,
we came here first. So this is on a Sunday. We come here. I drive down the 6 miles of dirt road. We get to the place, and we can't look at it because it's Sunday, and we haven't made an appointment, but we can look at the outside of it. So I knew not to push this on her, so all I said, well, let's just get out and walk around. So I got out, and I let the wife out, and she started kind of walking around. The wife kind of feels things with her feet. I don't know if she can taste things with her feet, but she can feel things with her feet. So she's walking around and everything. You want to do a reenactment of that?
No.
Of me letting you out? So,
why don't you do it?
So I let her out, and she sort of she gets out of the Jeep, and she's kind of walking around.
See how he views me.
And she's feeling things with her feet. She maybe scratches, she does a little scratch on the ground and everything. She picks up some dirt. She lets it run through her hands. And she goes, huh. And she says, is it this whole thing? Because the lot is a half mile by half mile. And I said, yeah, it's from that corner to that corner and that corner to that corner. And she goes, oh, okay. And she kind of likes it. It's out in the middle of nowhere, okay? And so she gets in the car and she goes, okay. And then we go and we have Mexican food, okay, in the town nearest here. So we're having some Mexican food, and then we drive home. And I don't push it on her at all. The next morning, it's Monday. We wake up pretty early. We probably woke up around 6 a.m. And 5 or 6 a.m. And she comes to me and she goes, I think I want that house. She goes, I think I'd like that house. And I go, okay. So I call the realtor. I call the realtor that's selling the place, and she goes, oh, I'm all booked up for showings because since we cut it to $399, she goes, since we cut it, sorry, we're dealing with the kid.
Yeah. So
The kid is here.
on a side note,
She didn't tell me she had this kid when I met her.
I had a dream. We've been having trouble conceiving. We were trying to conceive and have a baby. And I had a dream. I saw the baby here. And so that's what really put me over the edge,
I think
too.
he was a tall redhead in overalls, wasn't he? Or something like that.
So I saw the baby here. And so, yeah. So that's really what pushed me over the edge was, oh, okay, this is where he wants to be.
Yeah, the baby.
Here he is.
Yeah, and he's here. So she goes, I want to buy it. And so I call the realtor that's selling this place. And remember, this realtor's been struggling to sell this place for a year. So I call the realtor. Realtor goes, oh, I'm all booked up for the next couple of weeks because since we cut it to $399, we're getting tons of interest. She goes, I think we're hitting a good price point. And I hated to hear that. So I called my realtor, and which is my brother's wife. I called my realtor and I said, she's really fast at getting things done. And I said, listen, I sent her the address and a picture of the Zillow listing, and I said, I want to put in a full cash offer on this place. So my realtor within an hour sends a full cash offer on this place. Like no negotiations, no nothing, sight unseen, but full cash offer. Problem with that is I don't have the money. Okay, so I don't have the money, but the realtor calls me back and she suddenly has an available, no, I remember what happened. So I get in the car. So we put in a full cash offer. I remember what happened. So I called my realtor, told her to put a full cash offer. I grab the radar detector, I stick it in the Jeep, and the wife and I jump in the Jeep and we start driving here, okay? And we're driving at either below the speed limit or over the statute of limitations from how long ago that was. So whatever one applies there. So we're hauling butt here. And I call the realtor and I said, hey, did you get our offer? And she goes, yeah, I got our offer. And she goes, maybe I could squeeze in a showing and stuff. And she's like, maybe in a couple days, And I said, oh, we're already halfway there, which is a lie. We were like 20 or 30 minutes, probably still an hour and a half away or something. But we're going pretty fast. And so she goes, oh, okay. She's kind of like surprised by that. And so I kind of like pushed it on her by saying, oh, hey, we're already there. You don't want us to just like drive hours and not see the place, right? All right, so we're flying out here. We got the radar detector because we want to make sure we're doing, we're not doing anything. Anyway, so we're flying out here. Realtor says, she's booked up for a few more days. And I said, oh, we're almost there. And so she makes an exception. She goes, oh, well, maybe I can, So she ends up with a cancellation or something. So we get a slot and we're already driving here. So we meet her here after kind of pushing ourselves on her. We meet her here and she's a little downtrodden because she'd probably shown it to so many people. And for her, it's a pain in the butt. You got to go down this dirt road through a wash and everything else. Hang on one second. This is what you do, guys. You give your kid something different. And he's like, what is that? All right, so you got to have that stuff ready to go. So, realtor, for the real estate agent, it's complicated. She's got to drive all the way out here and, in her car and rattle to death on the washboard roads. So anyways, we meet her out here. She's kind of downtrodden. And she says, take a look around, you know, and everything. And the wife and I are delighted. Like, we're walking around, it's got a house. It's got, you know, the main hangar here. It's got a lot of cool stuff. It had a barn, but that has since blown down. But like, perfect little Western-looking airport. And we had already kind of made up our minds at this point, obviously, because we submitted the full cash offer. And so, yes, it had some electricity, it had some water. It already, you know, whatever. It was going to happen. When it comes to a few $1,000s, you know, we could try to negotiate and stuff. Probably could have got it for $375 or something, but I didn't want to risk it. And over the course of living here for 20 years or something, or 30 years, or however long I live, what is 25 grand, right? So it's like, you know, we didn't really negotiate because I didn't want to lose the deal. It's not worth losing the deal. And so, yeah, we met with her. Then, because that makes the deal look better. You put in a full cash offer, now she thinks, well, they haven't seen the place and they're going to pull out. So now we got a full cash offer and we've seen the place. So now she thinks something's going on. So I go home and I've got to come up, we go home, we're super excited about it. I've got to come up with $399,000 that I don't have. So I, I sell my Pathfinder, I sell my jet skis. That gets us like $9,000 the way there. So we're off to, so we only got to come up with 390 after that. I sell any of my savings, my stocks. I'd put some money in stocks.
Both of our savings, both of our stocks.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Anything wife had in retirement, anything I had and put a stash away for retirement. And then I started selling chunks of my business. I started selling chunks of my business as quick as I could. You know, oh, here's 8 vending machines over here. Here's 3 here. Here's 2 there. Started selling those for fire sale, like sell them as quick as I can to try to get the money. So in the end, we get the money together like by a miracle. I mean, I am going 24 hours a day. We get the money together in a couple weeks because it takes time. You got to do a title report and all this other stuff. So, you know, they don't close instantly. And we bought the place completely as is, 100% with all the stuff in place except for this airplane and the air coupe, right? And one thing that was a little bit of a stressor was during the closing period, the guy we bought it from, the kid, the guy that lived here passed away, and his kid was still around, and he wanted to keep taking stuff. And I said, well, I bought it as is, and he goes, oh, well, this is sentimental, and this is sentimental, and this is sentimental. And that was really stressful for me because they had access to the property and I didn't, and I bought it as is, and, you know, it had a lot of garbage, but it had a lot of cool stuff too, and they just want to leave me with the garbage, you know, and it wasn't malice. It was just, you know, the kid wanted to take a bunch of stuff, and the place was empty for several years, and he had time to come get it. So the whole thing was stressful for me because they had access and I didn't, and whatever. But eventually the place closed, and it's been wonderful ever since. We've been super happy here. I mean, well, there's been some stressors like the power went out immediately, a few other things, but. So anyways, guys, that's how you trick your wife into moving out into the middle of nowhere. Basically, I guess it's just Mexican food at the end of the road trip. But yeah, the trick was I didn't push her into it. I just showed her the place, and then I had to kind of back off and let her make the decision. Obviously, wouldn't have moved out here if she didn't want to, or if she didn't want the place, I wouldn't have done it. But I'm so glad that we did. It's awesome. We love it out here. We're building our entire lives out here. We're going to be out here for the rest of our lives. So I'm not moving again. It was a long journey. You can go back and look at some of those videos. But that's the story of how we moved out here and how we got it done. Thanks a lot, you guys. We love you, and I'll see you in the next Belly Button series. Actually, the next video is going to be one that I finished right before I went down. And here's a little sneak peek if you stayed this long, is I've replaced the factory shocks I've got before and after testing on the F350 here because we've got a horrible dirt road. And do aftermarket shocks make a difference or not? So stick around for that one. It's in the process of being made. So, all right, I'll catch you later. Maverick, you were pretty good. And you were too, baby.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my sister-in-law made this awesome quilt.
My sister made this.
And you should go check her out in the description below.
She has a little business. She makes homemade quilts. If you guys are interested in a homemade quilt.
Oh, this is her old name, but
check it out.
It's Isla and Row.
Isla and Rose, her
Isla and
company
Row
name,
Company,
which
but
is her
check it out.
kids' names.
She's so,
I'll throw a link down in the description if you guys want to check it
she
out.
makes the cutest stuff.